Today's episode is brought to you by Speculative Fiction Collectibles, also known as Spec Fiction Collectibles. You can find them on Facebook or check out their website and see all their pre-orders and everything they have in stock. I'll include a link in the description below. Their customer service is amazing, and I've really enjoyed using this company for ordering my statues. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're getting into a really crazy statue, and we're going to do it a little differently today because, yeah, it's that big, it's that crazy, and I got it out of the box, I assembled it, and I just got it where it's going to live, so we're going to review it from there because it's that wild. So today we're getting into the Prime 1 Studios Sauron EX. I'm really excited. This is my centerpiece for this year because I'm going all in on Lord of the Rings. So let's start off with the box art and let's go from there. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and start with the box art here. Now, the Prime 1 Studios Sauron EX, it comes in 2 boxes. The shippers are pretty obvious. It's pretty much what we've come to know on any Prime 1 shipper. It does have some info in regards to the statue and what numbers it is, but I figured we'll just go ahead and start with the art boxes. So we have box number 1 here on the left and box number 2 on the right. One box is exclusively the base and maybe 1 or 2 other parts, and then the other box on the left here is stacked into 3 different parts and has all the different armor and all the different mixed media pieces and things like that. So I figured we'd go ahead and check this out first. The box art is phenomenal, just as always, as Prime 1 does. Here is a look at the top here. Very, very nice. Now I got number 180 out of 180 out of 1000, the EX. Let's turn these around. Pretty much more of the same on the back side, just slightly different angles, slightly different artwork. I do like that one is a full color box and one is kind of this aged bronze monochromatic photography going on. The one on the right is the one that holds the base, and the one on the left has all the other detail. So it's pretty cool that they made the boxes kind of replicate that with the artwork. Thought that was pretty cool. Okay, let's jump into Sauron. Here he is, displayed right in the center. He is surrounded by the Sideshow Collectibles Dark Rider of Mordor and the Morgul Lord, or the Witch King of Angmar. I think they look really good, and it really just pushes how big Sauron really was. He is quarter scale. I think the bases actually look pretty good together, but let's go ahead and start off with the EX piece. So if you do get the exclusive, you get this life-size severed Sauron finger. This is only a few parts, so you get this base. You get the finger here, which keys in just like that, nice strong magnet. The ring here is a separate piece, it's real metal, and the engraving on it is pretty amazing. So as you can see right here is a seam line, so this magnetizes off and pops off that way. You slide the ring onto the finger and then key that back on with a nice strong magnet. Then once you're done, you just drop him right down into there, and he sits on the battlefield severed. Let's look at some detail on the top here. Now this is pretty incredible to hold Sauron's finger in your hand, the severed piece from the battle. You get to see that big, strong, heavy metal. This is a true metal ring here, and it's lots of weight. I like that you can spin and move it. You can take it off and hold it in your hand. You can display just the ring if that's something you want to do. And then the ring just hides the seam line there. And of course, we'll just drop it right back, keys in. So in my opinion, I think it's an EX or bust with this one. This is a really cool part, and I just absolutely had to have the severed finger. I like that it fills in this gap right here on the table, and it just looks really phenomenal. So let's go ahead and start with the base. The base is unreal. The bases for the Prime 1, the new Prime 1 Lord of the Rings pieces are amazing. I love this tarnished, weathered base here. I love the spikes. I love the Elvish written all the way around it to replicate the ring. There's lots of really good battle damage, and it's not just this super clean one thing going around. If you really look at it, there's all these nooks and cracks and divots from battle. The battle damage on this is absolutely amazing. So yeah, can't say enough about this bottom trim here. I love that it's just hit and forged. Looks incredible. They crushed it with the base. So let's cruise on up. Now, this is probably my harshest critique for this whole piece is going to be the lava here. The lava paint is a little flat and leaves a little to be desired. Personally, I think they could have done, I don't know, maybe like a translucent resin here or something like that, but it's not bad. From far back, I think it looks really good, but when you start getting up on it, it's a little flat and it's a little airbrushy. But again, you know, if you're lighting this, and I got some track lights hitting it right now, and it does look really good. Now, talking about the paint with the fire, this right here, this lava is okay. It looks good, but it's just not incredible. But where it really shines is the glow on the rock here. They did such a phenomenal job with this yellowing, dusting of the glow of the fire that this actually does look like it's illuminated. It's not putting off light, but when you dim the lights a little bit and you have just a single light hitting this piece, this really gives the illusion that the light from this source is hitting this, and it is so effective. You still see all the gray in the rock. It's not just totally flat yellow, so there's lots of layering going on. But I gotta say, the glow on the rock here from the lava is arguably one of my favorite parts. Very, very well done. Very tasteful. I'm actually taking lots of mental notes how it goes from a yellow into a burnt orange, and it just gets warmer as it gets away. So you got like a hotter white here, and then as it comes up and gets away, it actually gets a little bit more orange out here on the end, and it's just so effective. The texture of the rocks is absolutely incredible. So dynamic, such harsh edges. Absolutely amazing. I love how it sticks out, and you can kind of really tuck your hand in there. It just makes it really dynamic how far this part comes out. Give you a view here so you can see the rock really just floating out of the base. Absolutely incredible. This thing is so big, it's so heavy, there's so much detail to it that there was just no way I could take this all apart again and rebuild it again for you guys. It's just, if you get this piece, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Once you kind of get it out and you put it where it's going to be, you pretty much want to let it live there. So this is why we're doing a slightly different version of our review today. Phenomenal. So let's look at some of these parts that go on top of the base on the battlefield. So we got this awesome rustic blade. This just keys in here. So this is a real metal blade. They use the real metal. You can feel it when you pick it up, the weight to it. It's cold. Definitely has like an actual metal finish with this beautiful rust paint. This crushed armor piece here, this just kind of sits on very gently. But again, the detail is amazing. Very, very real looking metal. This is not real metal, but you would never know. My partner who saw this when I unboxed it really thought all of this was metal. So again, it's just incredible. Now we got another sword back here creeping behind the mixed media. So we kind of move everything out the way. One more sword there, again, real metal. Nice rust on the blade going on, I love it. And then back here we have a fallen soldier's helmet and a shield. The shield is tucked back under there. I'm trying to show you this as best as possible. Incredible detail. Let's see if we can move this and show some light. There we go. Nice big quarter scale shield, chips, dings, just really telling the story of the battle here. And then we get skulls and bones all over the place. Now there's one thing about the skull and bone detail that I absolutely love. I love the bones, I love the skulls, I love that they're facing up, that's cool. You know, looks great. They could be a little dirtier, they look a little too clean for me, but you know, that's all right. But the thing that I really like is this tiny little detail back here, and I'm gonna show you. It's this part. Right here. Now this is an under cap or back cap of a skull, and that is actually where the spinal cord goes into the bottom of the skull, and you get this cool, like anatomically correct, kind of like weird brain skull cap thing here. The detail on this is amazing. As someone who draws a lot of skulls, I do a lot of skulls for work and for paintings and reference and things like that, so it's really cool to see parts of a skull that aren't always used like this. So if you know the ins and outs of a skull, it's really awesome to see a cap like that. An amazing detail that maybe a whole lot of people wouldn't notice, but as someone who draws a lot and tries to find new and unique ways to integrate skulls into my work. I love that they use this bottom cap. It's really, really cool. So basically how this assembles is you start with the base here, get that on there, and then you can start laying out the parts on the battlefield. So you just get those kind of keyed in. And then the instructions are awesome. They do a really good job of explaining everything. I do believe you kind of put his body in and then the parts, just to make sure that when you're putting his heavy, huge body into the base here, you're not hitting some of this or knocking some of these pieces over. So, okay, let's start with the man himself here, Sauron. So, okay, so we have, first of all, the detail on the armor is phenomenal. The metal work is phenomenal. It looks like real metal. I just cannot believe it. The detail and how deep the texture is scribed onto here is amazing. It's really deep, it's really sharp. So we have a separate piece here, and this is a separate piece on both legs. So you do kind of assemble his parts together. This isn't all one giant piece, which thank God, because it would have been a nightmare hoping it didn't break. These pieces actually feel pretty strong. They do feel like they're on there. Now, I'm not going to go and push on them and take my chances, but it does feel really sound. None of this feels super fragile, which I was really relieved whenever I opened this. But yeah, again, this pops on, and then this side piece pops on. So we are going to, let's check out his mace here. Again, I just love the beveling. I love this chrome. I don't know how they got that chrome look. It's very close to a Molotov liquid chrome. If you paint statues or you're into painting at all, you probably know about Molotov liquid chrome. But it looks just like that. It's phenomenal. Even I can't even really get the detail of it because the light just grabs it on these beveled edges of the blade. And then let's check out the detail going up the hilt here. You could just look at this thing forever and ever and ever and just keep seeing new stuff. I love the weapon. So now let's talk about the part that a lot of people, including myself, had some issues with. It's this part right here. Now this is real chainmail. It's pretty heavy. This is one piece, but it folds over to create this like kind of double layered effect going on here. But this is very real, very heavy, some of the nicest mixed media I've ever seen in a statue so far. And I've looked at quite a lot of statues, but this is the best use of mixed media. The real metal chains with the fake metal here of the armor is seamless. You cannot tell the difference between this and this. This has a slight bit more matte to it, but the way the light hits this, it's incredible. So this piece here is a separate piece. Now on the back are 3 small little metal hooks, and then you just hook the chainmail to 1, 2, 3, and it drapes. Now again, this is a lot of weight onto this piece because this piece narrowly fits and scoots behind there and locks into a magnet. It's obviously holding it, it's working, it's doing its thing, it looks just fine. But the magnet is not very strong, and it took me a while to get the magnet to line up and really grab. I had to finagle it and play with it for a long time. And then once it did, it just didn't feel like it was grabbing it super, super strong. So that was just a little concerning. But I did get it to lock. I did let it go. It's staying. You just don't want to have this on any kind of table that can be bumped or moved because it could potentially fall down and then hit the bottom here. And as I don't think this would do a lot of damage, I certainly just don't want this tip to fall down and hit that. So I think the only critique really is a stronger magnet here or some kind of way it could key in and lock in a little better. The engineering on this could have been a little better, but it's not that bad. And I really love the mixed media chainmail. It is unreal. He does have chainmail back here as well. You can see it right there. It operates the exact same way. It hooks onto the back plate, and then that back plate just magnetizes in. So again, it's working, it's doing its thing. You're not going to move this thing a whole lot, hopefully, so they should be just fine. But whenever you assemble this, you will know what I'm talking about. You'll see other people on forums talking about how they got the chainmail. When you put this on, you really want to make sure that this piece here sits in front of this main piece. I've seen a lot of people have it flipped the other way where this is hiding, and it makes it almost simpler looking. But you want the double layer thing going on here, and that's explained in the instructions briefly. I love these giant skirt panels here of these wing-looking shape. Absolutely incredible. It's really cool to see Sauron's armor this up close with this much detail. It is absolutely amazing. I've just never gotten to see, I mean, I've seen pictures and cosplays and stuff like this, but this is hands down the most accurate and coolest way to look at this beautiful armor. Look at the little clasps here, the little hinges. Phenomenal. But I love that it's bent and kicked up from his pose. So you really see how it moves and pivots and the way he moves. And dude, look, I mean, the feet. There's so much detail on here. I feel like it's really easy to miss a lot of stuff. I got a little bit of styrofoam right there. So I'll have to go back and kind of clean that up just a little bit, but you know, name of the game, styrofoam all over the place. So let's continue with the armor here. I love this design. So first of all, I love the ornate pattern going on. It's so delicate and it looks so fine and royal, but he is so evil, and I love that balance of beauty and elegance with just ferocity and sharpness. This torso here is fucking awesome. I gotta just be super honest with you guys. This is like absolutely incredible. I was really hoping that this would, you know, feel like a centerpiece to essentially my entire room, because he's that big and there's so much attention that's brought to this. So he's a centerpiece to my Lord of the Rings collection, but just such a centerpiece to this entire room. People walk by and they just can, from the other room, they can't ignore this. But I love the beveling in the chest. It looks sharp. It gives him lots of bulk and mass, and I mean, this is just such an incredible design. I love this sharp spike that sticks out. More detail on the chest here. So let's look at the arm a bit more. There's the backside of the hilt. More spikes, more detail, and then these pauldrons. Holy shit. The pauldrons are arguably maybe my favorite part of the armor. I mean, I have never wanted to build or make something more like this in my life. If I had, you know, the time like I used to have when I did a lot more bigger cosplay projects, this could be one. I'm not tall enough, but I would definitely figure that out. As I've done an 8-foot Gundam before, I just made myself taller. But yeah, I mean, the spikes on this are amazing. It just looks like he could just take someone's head and just press it, crush it into this shoulder pad. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, I really like how the armor sits in its move because of his pose. So it's not flat. It's not everything is perfectly straight. You do get some cocked up parts like this and more gaps, and it really just shows that his body is manipulating and moving this armor. Really, really nice. So let's check out this other arm here. Now, because of the lighting, you might be able to see a little bit more detail. But look at the chainmail. So that is sculpted, but you would almost not know. It looks very real. Makes me just want to touch it. And here is some incredible detail. And then we've got him checking out his prize. The ring itself there. Look at the detail on this gauntlet. Absolutely nuts. Phenomenal. There we go. So the ring on his hand is a pretty dull gold. It's nothing too crazy. In fact, I kind of thought they would have went a little bit more detail on that. It kind of seems like the scribing on the ring is very shallow, and then the paint that they used to paint it kind of filled some of it in. Let's get a little closer and see if it'll, there we go. Now, again, from far back, it looks awesome. It looks proportional. It's not like too gold, but it is a little dull. So that was kind of strange. I thought they would have really made that kind of pop, but maybe because he's on the battlefield and, you know, it's a little dirty or something. I'm not really sure. Again, from far back, it looks just fine. But when you get up on it, yeah, the detail is a little left to be desired, but that's okay. Because look at the detail on the hand. Holy shit. Alright, so let's cruise on over to this chest and the neck, and this is just absolutely phenomenal. If you ever needed a Sauron reference for a drawing or for armor or a 3D sculpt that you maybe want to do your own helmet, this doesn't get any better. It just can't beat it. I love the twisted trim on the armor here. This is a really nice touch. This chainmail is, I mean, it really feels like you could push that in and it'd be soft. And this plated effect here is just unreal. So here is the head. Now at first when I pulled it out, I thought this right horn was bent to the left and I kind of panicked a little bit, but actually when you look at them straight on, they all kind of bend in, so it is appropriate. When I first saw it out of the box, I thought it had bent or something, but no. Actually, if it was straight, it would be pretty awkward. But that's it right there. And let's see if we can see some detail back here. Now again, this thing is humongous. Normally I'd have this on a turntable and show you guys every nook and cranny of it, but it is this large and that heavy, and to be honest, I'm just one person here, and you know, I'm not making money on YouTube or nothing like that. You guys, look, I just got to do the best I can and show you this as I'm a solo dude. Yeah, so normally I would love to put this together and show you the whole thing, but it's just too big. It's just too much for one person. So I got too much going on right now, and I really wanted to share this with you guys before a million other reviews got on here. But yeah, this is really the best I can do, just being a solo person, but it's just very large and very detailed. Now, let's talk about the final part here is the mixed media on the cape. The cape is humongous. So if the cape starts up here on the shoulder and you kind of like slit, it has these little clips, so you kind of clip it on around the arms here, and then you put the pauldron pieces on top and then the portrait. But yeah, so the cape starts up here, but it actually ends way down here. Now, this whole piece is about 43 inches tall, which probably means that the cape is about 40 inches long. And there are multiple layers to it. You have this longer back layer, you have a whole nother medium layer here, and then a shorter layer here. There are wires in all of the pieces. There's wires on the edge, there's a bunch of wires in the middle, and it has lots of battle weathering and dirt down here at the bottom. There's a lot of mud caked onto it. And you can see, I didn't spend a whole lot of time posing the cape quite yet, because I'm going to get in there and do that, but you can see the dust, the dirt, the holes. The material is just amazing. It feels perfect. You can actually see some of the wires through here a little bit, but I love that the fabric is thin and almost semi-transparent. It just looks great being blown back. So, if you're wondering about the banner back here behind the piece, so originally I had a plan to do a painting to go behind the Sauron. I was going to do a huge Mouth of Sauron painting. I'm a full-time artist, and I've been wanting to integrate more of my paintings and artwork into my collection. But once I got him here and I started looking, I realized how much Sauron actually takes up of the wall. I mean, if I did a painting here, you wouldn't see a third of it because he's that large and just takes up that much attention. Plus, I didn't want to put something highly visual behind it and take away from him, or he takes away from the painting. It would have been pretty counterintuitive. So what I actually did was I found a curtain rod holder up here. This is a wooden dowel from Home Depot. And then this piece of fabric was actually one of these curtains I had extra of. So the curtain is kind of a thick canvas-like material, and it was absolutely perfect. I took it, the first thing I did was I cut it here into this V shape, and then I actually found the symbol of the Eye of Sauron here, and that was in a lot of artwork and things by John Ho, and you know, I kind of just found a whole bunch of orc battle banners that I really liked. So I just took some regular acrylic paint and I painted the eye on there. I added a little water to the paint and it gave it like a bleeding effect, which I really liked. And then the rest was me just taking a lighter to it, burning holes, burning edges. Now, what I didn't count on, which I ended up really liking, was the fact that this is a blackout curtain. So behind the fabric here is actually plastic. So when I took it outside and when I was burning it, it actually caused it to kind of melt like this, which just made it look so much more dark and kind of nasty looking. But I used the extra fabric here to put the fire out, which kind of burned and melted that. I just thought that worked out really well. But these are a lot of cosplay tricks. I did a lot of cosplaying years ago, and you know, I really love making things look old and weathered and stuff. But yeah, you can see how well the torn, burnt blackout curtain kind of really blends in with the cape there. And I love that, you know, I basically weathered it with black paint, some brown paint. I would hit the spray paint and whip it up to give the effect that the burns had came up and caused like carbon scoring and burning in those holes. But yeah, I wanted something behind it so it wasn't a blank wall. I didn't want his armor to blend in with this gray, but I didn't want to do something so radical that it, you know, it took away. So I think this was the perfect solution. I also just really love having like an orc battle flag that's supporting, you know, their master and the boss. So yeah, if you're wondering about the points on the ends of the spear there, that's just a wooden dowel, and I just took that on a sander and rolled it, kind of sharpened it like a pencil, hit it with some black paint, and that was all she wrote. But I think it looks great. I think it came out good. Hopefully this was a decent enough video. It is a little different, but you know, this is a different piece, and I'm just one person. So this is as good as I can do it for now, but a phenomenal piece. And I'm in a state of transition right now, but you can tell that's all the Lord of the Rings stuff. More pieces. And then we have the Berserk wall here. You got some more Berserk stuff coming on the way, which those bottom pieces will be getting replaced. But yeah, that's all the rest of the Lord of the Rings pieces. Transitioning right into here. And eventually they will go up and go this way. So Lord of the Rings will come down, go down this way, and then back up. And that's how that'll sit. Love the shadow of Gandalf there from the track light. I'd like to say I planned that, but I didn't. But it just came out awesome. So that's him in all his glory, the Dark Lord. Phenomenal. If you are able to get this piece, I highly recommend it. And that's going to do it, guys. If you guys have any questions or there's anything I can answer for you, shoot me a comment down there. Let me know if you think that this was worth the price tag. Personally, I feel where all of my money went. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I've definitely paid more for less in statues before, but this really is the centerpiece that I've been wanting. So let me know if you plan on getting this. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if you minded this way I did a review for this piece. If it really bums you guys out and you really want to see me put it together and stuff, so the next couple pieces that are on this level, I'll do that. But for the sake of my sanity, I'm just going to keep it like this for now. But thanks for joining me, guys. This was a lot of fun. This is an incredible piece. I've looked forward to this forever. It sat out in the ocean for 4 months, and it's finally here. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and we'll catch you next time.